drum.
Great. What do you think about a webzine like that?
That's a great idea. In 1988, I had a band called Dysrhythmia, and we made a record for Island Records, and the record didn't do very much. But the producer of Alice bought the record, and he really liked it. And he decided to contact us, the Dysrhythmia band, and invite us to work with Alice. So we said, okay, well, yeah, fine. So in 1989, I did a tour of Italy with Alice, and also in 1990 and in Germany and Switzerland. And after that, the producer, Francesco Messina, he recommended me to Eugenio Fanardi. So I made a record with Eugenio Fanardi. In fact, I made 2 records with him. La Forza dell'Amore and Millennio. Then after that, the engineer of the session recommended me for Fiorella Manoia. Then I worked with Fiorella Manoia. After I went home, a guitarist came to play on the record of Fiorella Manoia, and that was Paolo Giannolio.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's a kind of story like this. So after that, the promoter of Claudio Baglioni invited me to come in 1992 to work with him, thanks to Paolo Giannolio, who heard me play. I worked with Raf, Ramazzotti, and Franco Battiato. When I was 6, my father was a professional trumpet player, and I tried to play the trumpet when I was very young, but it sounded like this. It's really hard. And my father also played a little bit of drums, and he gave me some brushes and some sticks, and instantly I loved it. The trumpet was really hard, the drums was easy for me. I was coordinated. I was also a good dancer. When I was 6, I used to do tap dance and ballet and all kinds of things like this. So I was good at football. I was coordinated. I had real good control, and maybe that's the way my mind works, in a kind of coordination way. So for me, it was very easy to play the drums. It felt natural. I don't know. I mean, I started off playing jazz. I don't know how I made rock music. When I was about 20, 21, I had no work. I used to look in a paper called Melody Maker, an English paper called Melody Maker. And I used to go for auditions, and one audition was Iggy Pop, which was really nothing like the music I was listening to or playing. Iggy Pop was, like buzz, 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 buzz. So I listened to the record, I went to the audition, I played buzz, 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 and he said, great, you've got the job. But it was really hard. My rock drumming career kind of started there. Sometimes people, imagine that you are a pop drummer or a rock drummer or a jazz drummer. I didn't kind of categorize myself. It just happens. Some people call me because they've heard some heavy rock album that I've played, and they think I'm a heavy rock drummer. So okay, I don't think of categories so much. I just like good music. So, in my opinion, there's good music and there's bad music. Sure. It could be country and western, it could be a waltz, it could be punk rock. It's rhythm. Well, I think you should follow what you really want to follow. It would have been easy for me to stay in one place. In the 80s, I started working in theatres in London, and I could have stayed in that job, going from one show to another, playing in the orchestra pit. But I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it. I could do it. I could read. I could follow the conductor. It was interesting. It was like doing an acting job.
Yeah.
To see if I could play these kind of style of music. There's one thing in common, and that's just rhythm. Every music has rhythm, and there's surprisingly, it's a language that isn't so enormous. and you can find lots of similarities in different styles of music. Mainly what people want is really good time and a nice feel, nice groove.
The groove is important.
Not many people want, really kind of... For me, I used to practice that kind of thing and practice the technique, but no one ever asked me to do it.
Well, that's...
And I think the thing that has been the most help for me is just practicing time. I imagine that the people who employ me like me because they like the way I play the time. The fills and the sounds and the style is on top, but fundamentally it has to have a certain groove, and it's an identity. When you listen to 2 bars of Steve Gadd, you know it's Steve Gadd, not because of the sound or the fill, but the way he plays the hi-hat, the snare drum and the bass drum. And when you listen to Jeff Porcaro, it's the same. You can just hear Jeff Porcaro's personality. So for me it was a question of developing my own kind of DNA. And I know when I hear 2 bars of a record, even from 10 years ago, I know it's me. Not because of the sound or the music or a fill, just the way I play the time. And when you listen to drummers, like John Bonham, he's always associated with a big sound. But I believe that if you took away the big sound and you just listened to John Bonham playing a jazz kit, it would still sound like him because of the way he plays the time. There's a big feeling, When you're young, you do it. It's because you have no...
it's obvious.
Yeah, I emulated Steve Gadd, Jeff Porcaro, lots of drummers. The important thing is to understand what they're trying to convey. It's not important the Steve Gadd lick, It's important to understand the effect.
Yeah.
And then when I play it, I don't play exactly the same thing as Steve Gadd. I might play da da. It's the effect rather than the actual fill.
What you do.
So if you work out a Dave Weckl fill, it's not really important the exact fill. The emotion is important. To understand the emotion, and that you can do something similar. Then you don't sound like Dave Weckl, and you sound like yourself. And the little pieces that I've taken from different drummers all kind of come together in my early days, I think, to make up my musical personality. I really wanted to have a time feel like Jeff Porcaro, that kind of smooth kind of timing, comfortable, relaxed, laid back kind of feel, That's what I wanted to emulate from Jeff Porcaro, not Rosanna or one of his licks.
Yeah.
The thing that I got from Jeff Porcaro was the real powerful emotion when he's just playing da, da, da. You can feel something. A lot of drummers think that, okay, boom, ta, it's very boring. Okay, I want to play this.
Yeah.
And you miss the point. 95% of the time, if you're working as a professional drummer, they just ask you to play like this. You get very small chances to play a fill. They never want this. They just want a nice time. When I worked with Claudio Baglioni, I tried to, respect his music and play my timing on his songs. Yeah, I mean, you can put your own personality. People think to put your own personality means you have to play big fills. But it's not true. You can put your own personality with very small little things. First of all, the timing. Second of all, your taste of fills. If you're playing a simple groove, you don't always have to play ra bum 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 ching. Cliched fills.
Yes.
Just change little things. It hasn't got to be. You can just change little things all the time. And when I worked with Claudio, and when I work with anyone, I try to play different every night. Just a little bit, because it keeps me interested. I don't play exactly the same fill in exactly the same place. Okay, sometimes there's a fill which is important to the song. It has to be this fill because it's part of the song, but You know, there's certain parts where you can change just a little bit. Sometimes I'm the only one who knows, but it makes me laugh. Some drummers heard about me. It was when I was playing with Claudio or when I was playing with Eugenio Finardi. But I was playing for 25 years before that. Right? I played in bars, I've played in clubs, I've played for weddings, you know, bar mitzvahs. I played on top of a bus. When I was 15, I played on top of a double-decker bus promoting a bread company, playing Dixieland jazz, you know. I played in Lugano, outside a cafe, for I think 5 hours every night, playing Girl from Ipanema, you know, for something like €100 a week. So, you know, sometimes people think that you just come out of nowhere. I was playing shit jobs, you know, for a long time. As long as it was a progression, as long as each job was better than the last job, I was happy. You know, I didn't go back to playing in a cafe bar. I didn't go back to playing in a nightclub. I didn't go back to playing in a theatre. I could. And in my mind, I always imagined, well, maybe if I had no work, I could go back to those things because I have that skill. You know, I learned to read music. Reading music is really important. A lot of people think that you don't need to read music. And you do, because it's an understanding, it's a language. It's like if you speak Italian, but you can't read Italian, you're missing so much. You can't read a book. You have trouble understanding. You know, you don't have to be a perfect reader, but just to write. You know, sometimes when I'm at home, I'm playing, I discover something by accident, you know. Oh, what's this? I play and I think, okay. And then I take a pencil and I write it out. And I was always collecting my ideas, and that's what led to the first book, Rhythmic Illusions, was my ideas from like about 1987 to 1995. They were my rhythmical thoughts. And then the second book is my rhythmical thoughts from 1995 to 2000. And then the DVD, I mean, at home I have great big stacks of paper with ideas. You know, sometimes I don't do anything with them. I just, for me, publishing the books was just because I wanted to move on. Once I published a book, I could forget about it and move on. It was like a recording of all my thoughts for 10 years, or 8 years, 7 years, I don't remember. But just to capture all those things. If people buy the book and they like it, I'm very happy. But I made it for myself, really, as a record of all those ideas. And when I look back, I can remember what I was thinking about in 1992, and it's a glimpse of that part of my life. Not much. I watch TV. I mean, I spend all day on music.
On music.
I play the bass. I play a little bit of keyboards. I mean, usually I play the drums and I rest. It's enough.
It's a resting for you.
I'm always thinking about things. You know, when I'm sitting on an aeroplane, I start writing ideas, sometimes rhythmic illusion ideas. And my brain's always moving in a rhythmical way.
So music fills your life.
Completely.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for
Pleasure.
your time.